Everybody, I'm Gojo, and I'm bringing you guys another power scaling on my channel. I know it's been a long time since I've done a power scaling on my channel, but I decided that maybe I should maybe try some new things out. So I decided to particularly power scale Transformers. Now, which Transformers you may actually wonder? Well, if you see on the screen, it's from Transformers Prime. Now I'll be covering both the series and the entire movie for Beast Hunters as well. So yeah, the entire movie as well. Now I'll be scaling practically the leader, and of course the famous Autobot leader himself being Optimus Prime. Now of course I've seen the power scaling metas on practically the Wikipedia for about Battleverse. So yeah, I said that I would do my own scaling. Now if you guys are wondering, yes, I've watched the entire series. I've watched every single episode as well. So I think I'm pretty knowledgeable about this info. Now, for casual stuff, you may actually have to get rid of the window. We'll be practicing all Transformers, even to one of the lowest rankings, or at least city block level. Now, of course, their attack policy could be raised to be city block level, in the weakest, of course, being the weakest members, to be at least city block level, since they can practically destroy buildings, and of course, some of the Decepticons were easily able to practically destroy a couple of buildings as well, meaning that they will be at least city block level in AP, and of course some almost all Autobots are actually stronger than them physically, and of course RC being actually kind of the weakest of all Autobots is actually considered to be almost on par, if not even above them when it comes to AP or scaling as well. So this probably should upscale her through those, and since Prime probably upscales almost everyone alongside Bulkhead, then Prime should upscale the city block level scaling, which of course I'll also get to much more better stuff for Prime as well. Of course, I can also get him to a feat that will get him to island level because of getting the Star Saber, which of course is a weapon to himself, which I can see that he will get to island level because he was able to destroy an entire boulder of a gigantic size. Now this will of course also bring it to mountain level, which can also bring it to island level as well. Now, of course, the attack potency that Prime was able to utilize with the Star Saber was incredibly good, which will bring him at least to around mountain level to island level to practically continental, because he was able to practically shake the entire spaceship of the Decepticons, which is at least almost the size of a small city. You have to remember that the Autobots are at least a couple of hundreds of meters, at least a couple of meters much more taller and bigger than normal humans. So by their attack will be much larger than ours in comparison. Meaning that for the entire spaceship will most likely bring that if Optimus was able to practically shake it with just a single slice of his attacks, would mean that the Star Saber, with of course Optimus Prime activating his full potential, will grant the Optimus Continental AP, and of course Prime should also scale to his AP as well, like most of his other versions. And because now he was able to practically fight on par with Megatron, who also had his own version of the Star Saber or Dark Saber, which of course was still said to be at least relevant to the Star Saber itself. Indeed, it destroyed at one point, but eventually when the Star Saber was indeed restored, they saw a Forge of Solus Prime. Eventually, Optimus was able to practically make it to be on par with the Dark Saber, which would make practically both of them to be irrelevant to one another. And of course, we all know that Megatron was also able to take on Unicron's avatars, which in their largest stages were at least able to at least maybe destroy an entire continent. And if Megatron was able to take down one with just a single punch, we'll most likely bring him to at least multi-continental. And since Prime should scale to Megatron, he should be almost as well as continental as well. Now, of course, I'll be getting to Optimus's much more better feats with this new upgraded state. Now, this he was able to get after he practically used the last power of the Forge of Solus Prime, and eventually granted him an initial boost to his power and strength as well. Also gave him the ability to fly as well. Also, if you guys are wondering for his speed meta on his normal state, he should be at least at around the stage of hypersonic, too, because some Decepticons who can practically move in their jet forms, and of course Optimus was easily able to practically track them alongside most of the Autobots. And of course, he can also be scaled to be relativistic since he was able to dodge blasters, which practically are blasters, lasers as well. So most likely will bring him to relativistic plus speed. As for his upgrade mode, he most likely would have immense increase in power. He was easily able to one shot and even defeat just one shot, you could say, yeah, Megatron, who was almost relative to himself in the beginning, but after he was able to receive this new upgrade of his, Prime was strong enough to easily one-tap him. He did not kill him or anything like that, no he did not, but he was easily able to overpower Megatron with ease. Meaning that he should upscale all the features I practically included about Megatron himself, and he should upscale to a much more higher degree. Now, of course, we have to also get to Mez when, of course, he was able to also face the Paracon. Which, of course, the Paracon is stated to be one of the strongest forces because it was incredibly strong, and he was also able to be on par with Megatron, even when he used the Darksaber's power a little bit. So, yeah. And Prime can actually fight almost equally to a Paracon himself, which will bring him to a much more higher scaling as well. Prime also has the matrix of leadership, which is practically the core of Cybertron. And due to his immense power, and of course Prime was also able to stop Unicron, which of course in his lowest mass, you must likely bring it to at least moon level. But since the matrix of leadership is practically linked to the spark of all Cybertronians, this will bring Optimus his AP to at least planetary, because he practically has a power of an entire planet, which means that most likely in this new upgraded state, he should scale to this level of power and AP. He was also able to take on a possessed version of Megatron when Unicron possessed him, and he was able to actually be almost relative to him. But of course, Unicron was able to start slightly overpowering because of his Dark Energon abilities, since they can practically weaken a normal Cybertronian, if not even a Prime. But of course, Prime is much more resistant to the abilities, so yeah. Of course, if you guys are wondering, yes, this Prime with upgrades can also upscale his other self when he had the Star Saber, since he was easily able to defeat Megatron, who had his own Dark Saber. But of course, Dark Saber is, in this point in one of the episodes, to be almost irrelevant, it don't even higher than Optimus' new mode. But if it's actually put on the Star Saber with this new upgraded version of Optimus, he most likely be at planetary level and much more higher than even Megatron himself. So yeah, this will be the scaling for his base, with an AP of C block to island level, and of course being in the middle between mountain and continental, and of course at its highest I'll bring it to multi-continental. Of course, his durability should also scale to the same level, and of course the speed will go from hypersonic to relativistic plus and possibly even FTL plus, since he was able to dodge lasers and predict them as well. As for his upgrade mode, he able to be in around multi-continental to moon level, and of course in his much more higher state, it will be most likely moon to planetary as well. As for, of course, his durability will be the same as his AP, like I explained before, and of course his speed should be at least FTL plus or faster than the speed of light, but much more better and much more deeper into FTL plus than his normal base, which will most likely mean that this new upgraded version of Optimus can practically do a lot of things. Now, of course, I know most of you guys would actually want me to do an entire scaling of all of Primus' team, but I can just easily just say that most of them are around the multi-continental series of power. Of course, that is just by increasing their powers, but if we were to practically scale them from who's the strongest to the weakest, I'll say that Prime is the strongest in his upgraded mode. Ultra Magnus is second to him because of his physical feats. Next, of course, will be Bulkhead, since he's much more physically stronger and he's a wrecker, which of course will bring him much more higher than everyone else. As for Bumblebee, I will say that he's behind Bulkhead because of his power and experience as a scout, because he was also trained by Optimus as well. Of course, I'll also bring Wheeljack, who's actually higher than Bumblebee, but Bumblebee was able to practically outspeed him, because I think that Bumblebee actually has much more better reaction speed than Wheeljack, so yeah. As for RC, she's kind of the weakest of the entire Prime's team, but comparable to most of the normal Decepticons, she's pretty strong herself. So I'm most likely to say that she'll be at least above C block level into at least island level at best for her. For B, he'll most likely base island level, and most of the other cast should upscale B by a much more higher margin. And of course, you know the scaling for Optimus as I did before. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this power scaling of Optimus Prime from Transformers Prime. Comment down below if you want me to scale another version of him from either the Bayverse or many or other versions of himself. I can also scale many other characters as well, and maybe even do a versus scaling as well, like I do with most of my channel. But just comment down below which you want to see. I'll see you guys in the next video, guys. Sayonara, everyone. See you next time.